All right, I guess we'll get the meeting going here.
Okay.
Yes. There we go. All right. Oh, this is. So I guess. All right. Welcome to Friday morning, 6:30. Our code of conduct of the week is speak and act supportively of ECI as a company and of our workers. Don't go around talking bad about the company. If you have an issue, speak to the right people about it. Don't just be talking trash about the company. And we're not perfect, and there's always a way to figure something out. So we've had 68 days without a recordable injury. Keep it up. We're doing good there. Today I'm going to talk about biological hazards. These are your ticks, poisonous plants, bees, wasps, things you might encounter outdoors on a site. This is a picture of an adult deer tick. They're, at most an eighth of an inch long. They're very small. Nymphs are even harder to see. They're very small. It might just look like a little speck of dirt on you. This is an adult wood tick, a dog tick. They're a little bit bigger. They're a little more common. You'll see they look a lot. The deer ticks are a lot more amber colored looking. These are just more of a dull brown. Some PPE for ticks. Insect repellent with DEET. Light clothing, pants, long sleeves, just to keep them from getting onto your skin. And as long as you don't mind looking a bit goofy, you can always tuck your pants into your socks. That helps out a lot. Every day you should check for ticks. Check periodically during the day. And then check nightly, a little more thoroughly when you're in the shower. Adult ticks, again, usually pretty noticeable. Nymphs can be pretty hard to detect. And then if you have any, jackets or any clothing to be worn the next day, make sure you shake it out and make sure it's clean. Tick removal. You want to remove the tick without leaving any parts still in your body, like the head or the mouth. Use tweezers for your tick removal, and don't just yank it out. Give it a gradual pull. Give it time to let go and detach from you if it wants to. Do not use any alcohol, nail polish, hot matches. I've definitely done this before. Use a hot match to get a tick off you. You shouldn't be doing that. They can traumatize the tick and cause it to regurgitate anything that it has in its stomach. Then you might run into poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac on the job site. These things, here's a few pictures of what they look like. Poison ivy, it's depending on the season, it changes, changes form a little bit. In the spring, it's a little more reddish, smaller, when it's first starting to grow. In the summer, it's more of a vibrant green, and in the fall, it's kind of looking like a dying plant, a little more brownish, not as vibrant. Poison sumac. This has a bit more of a woody stem and then multiple leaves coming off of one single stem. Poison oak, the leaves, because they call it poison oak, the leaves resemble oak leaf a bit, and tends to be a smaller shrub. Some symptoms and treatment. You can get redness, itching, swelling, blisters. If you've inhaled the smoke, you can have difficulty breathing. Poison ivy, sumac, and oak is more of it's a reaction, allergic reaction to the chemical. So, to soothe it, use a lukewarm bath, calamine lotion, hydrocortisone cream, cool compress, and because it's a reaction, you can use antihistamine pills if it is real bad. Then you have the poison parsnip. This is, you've seen it all over the roadways, all over the sides of the road recently. It's pretty invasive, so any road work, just be aware for, yellow flowering small flower plant, just in abundance usually on the side of the road. And this is more of a burn than a reaction. The chemical causes the sun to the UV rays to be intensified, and it will burn you more. So treat this like more of a severe sunburn. Wash the area, keep it covered and away from sunlight, and use cool compress to soothe it. Then we have bees and wasps. Obviously, the stings from these are very painful. But some people do have a severe allergic reaction that can cause them to be hospitalized, and death can occur. So we want to avoid these. Be aware of any nests or anything that we may come across. We have wasps, hornets, the honeybees, the bumblebees. Just want to be aware of these and avoid them if you need to, and everyone should be avoiding them. That's all I really have today. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take over. I share my screen. Thank you, Austin. That was good. I have had both poison ivy in the last few weeks, just kind of finishing that up now, healing from that, and also a hornet's sting here a couple weeks ago. Oops, I got the wrong one here. Let me try it. Oh, okay. Is that good? Do you see my screen? Perfect. Yeah, both were pretty uncomfortable, the sting and the poison ivy. So for announcements this week, we have the Champlain Valley Fair. It starts today. So the tickets for those who ordered them were sent out in the paychecks a couple weeks. So if you didn't notice them, go back and look in your old pay stub envelopes. New employees. Uh-oh, it didn't copy right for some reason. This is it David Poss? Is that right? For some reason, the text on the right side didn't save it properly.
Yep, that's David Poss.
Well, oh yeah, you can tell by his hard hat too. So if you see David out there, greet him and welcome him, and get him acquainted with other people on the crew and in the company. The primary care wellness program link is here, and make sure you check in with them if you haven't had a physical in the last year. Weather outlook, we're looking at some drizzly weather today, potential thunder showers from midday on, I guess, so be cautious about that. And this week we're talking about the Starbucks Moe's restaurant underpinning, and Ben McKinney, you out there? Are you going to present or do you want me to present?
Nope, I'm happy to.
Oh, perfect. Okay, do you
Yeah,
want,
if you wanna maintain control, I'll just read.
I'll do that.
So the South Burlington and Starbucks was recently renovated. The building, which is also home to Moe's, was in need of an interior renovation, but it also had seen some pretty major settlement at the southeast corner. That's if you're seeing it out front and Moe's is on the left and Starbucks is on the right. It'd be that right corner towards Williston Road. ECI was contracted by Precourt Company, the owner of the building, to stabilize and underpin the existing foundation wall to prevent additional settlement. So the building is a simple 4-foot plus minus frost wall with a slab on grade, and the majority of the foundation was CMU block, cinder block, on a relatively narrow concrete spread footing. So when we say underpinning, they hired us to underpin it. So underpinning is the process of supporting an existing foundation wall, either because it's settling like it was here, or sometimes we hear it in the context of where there's adjacent work next to a building and they're digging down below a foundation, and to prevent an issue, lateral or vertical, we need to support it. In this case, we were just taking care of the settlement issue. So we elected to use our hollow bar system for this work. We installed 9 30-foot deep vertical micropiles, which connected to the existing footing and foundation walls with special eccentric brackets. We were hired to do 8. We ended up doing 9. There was some issues with the existing foundation that made 9 make more sense. These eccentric brackets are produced by ECP, Earth Contact Products, out of Olathe, Kansas, and they're engineered specifically for our TEI drilling system. The brackets slip under the existing footing and are then also anchored to the face. And once the bracket's installed, the vertical hollow bar pile is drilled through the bracket in an integral section of heavy steel pipe, which provides for moment and vertical load transfer due to the eccentric connection. So when we say eccentric, that's opposed to concentric. So instead of underneath the foundation wall at its center, which would be ideal for supporting something, we're over at the face. Obviously we can't get a 12+ foot tall drilling mast underneath a foundation wall. It's just not practical. The excavation would be dramatic, and then you'd really be undermining things at that point. So when we underpin these things, we normally do it at the face of the wall, as close to the face of the wall as we can. We're trying to get towards the center of the wall, but we're offset. And this system allows for that. And it's got that heavy steel pipe because, as you can imagine, with that eccentric connection, it's really important to have a fixed condition versus like a pinned condition. You don't want any rotation at the top, or otherwise things could continue to settle. So like most hollow bars installed in soil, these micropiles used a grout flush. Grout is injected through the hollow bar, through a sacrificial bit, and that overcuts over the diameter of the bar, and that grout is flushed through the whole drill string, and it brings the soil cuttings up, much like traditional drilling mud that our horizontal drillers use. The difference is that this grout stays in the hole and hardens and cures. And once it sets, the product is kind of like a long, narrow sonotube with a big bar in the middle. Our overcut diameter, it depends on the size of the bit, but in these cases with approximately 1.5 1 3/4 OD bar with a 3.5 inch bit, we're probably looking at like a 5.5 inch grout column, maybe 6 inch grout column. So the Starbucks building was constructed on a fill section. That's the issue that these folks were having, or that caused the issue that they were having, we suspect. We had completed some other underpinning projects in this area. Alpine Shop was one a couple of years ago. And we elected to drill 30-foot piles to achieve a pile end bearing and hopefully native soils. We had done a helical pile system at the Alpine Shop, but we elected to use the hollow bar system here and we have been when possible. And the key benefit, although the upfront material and equipment cost might be slightly higher, is that with the hollow bars, with the right bits, we can drill through anything. So if we really want to get down to a layer of native soil to get good bearing, you know, below the fill section that's having issues, and we hit a cobble or a rock or a chunk of concrete or wood or anything, with the hollow bar system, we can drill right through it. So, you know, the risk of falling short of our target embedment isn't a risk to us or our customer with the hollow bar system. So we completed our project on July 21st, just a few days before the restaurant was slated to open back up to the public. It looked to me like they still had a lot of work to go inside, so I'm not sure if they actually opened on the 21st, but. So you can see there the pre-existing condition, I guess.
Yeah, it's a Google Street View.
There's the plan view by Artisan Engineering. It wasn't really design build, it was sort of design build. I mean, we were responsible for the pile system itself, but they told us what they were looking for and kind of showed a concept of the bracket. We also had a little bit of work to the walls. You can see to the left there, they had some pretty major cracks in that section of CMU. So we had some galvanized steel bars that we anchored to the front face there across the crack. There's that eccentric bracket shown. So the idea would be that, you know, you expose your foundation just in pits. You know, you don't want to undermine the whole thing, and then install that with anchors and get it nice and tight, and then drill down through it. And those pipes do permit a little bit of rotation. You know, often because of soffits, you might install these at a slight angle, you know, towards the foundation, which is fine. Kind of an elevation view. So these have these big heavy threaded rods. So you can get a little bit of an initial load into these with the nuts and the threaded rods. So as you tighten those down, there's a heavy steel bar on that rests on the very top of the cutoff pile. And so when you draw those nuts down, that's putting some compression down into it. I don't believe you would have much luck lifting anything like this. Maybe something small if you had enough of these, but the idea is to get some load into these so there's not additional settlement that occurs before they, you know, take up. We want to kind of keep things right where they are and not let it get any worse.
Yep.
See that heavy bar and the threaded rods there with that heavy section of pipe as well.
Pretty beefy little piece.
Yeah. This was the first time we used this product, and I think we'll probably use them again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like them.
See, there's essentially the finished product. It looks like the guys are just getting ready to backfill.
Yep.
There's during install.
Need a little protection for the existing building, I see.
Yeah. Yep, we definitely can be messy.
Clearance is pretty impressive, I'd say, for the rig and the drill.
Yeah, they showed us. You know, these being installed with the MP drill, which is, you know, kind of a cart manned portable system using the same drifter, which I think is possible. But since we could fit the drill excavator mounted drill, it was a no-brainer to use it. The grout pump in the background. Roger operating the 75. Looks like with that little wall, he had about all he could do to reach it.
Yep. There's some of the thread bar at the bottom with the hollow bar with the bits on them.
It's the grout plant. We still have the winter structure on it from a couple winters ago.
Got a little sag starting in the roof there, Ben.
Yeah, I think that ridge pole needs some attention. Or collar ties, one or the other.
Yeah.
So not our form work. The owner did their own form work. If there's kind of a, well, they had run I think it was a water line. I don't really remember. There's a utility going into the side that looked like an afterthought, and whoever put the utility in cut a huge chunk out of the foundation, like several feet by several feet, all the way down through the footing. There was just no foundation wall anymore. So the owner elected to fix that themselves, which was certainly fine with us, and it needed to happen.
They were on site a lot of the time helping us out, right?
Yeah, I was only there a few times, but they were involved. They were really good to work with.
Yep. That's the owner there in the maroon shirt standing off to the left.
They own the little strip mall next to it too, with Chicken Charlie's, and pretty sure
Oh,
that's
yeah.
theirs too. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Brian,
Brian Precor, yep.
his son was there a lot as well.
Yep. And that's what we got for that project. For the photo archives, I put in the Bellows Falls underpinning project on the NECR in Bellows Falls. That was in 2007. And we got some welding going on for some underpinning inside of the tunnel.
Wow.
Same general idea, only a little different,
Yeah.
with some steel plate lagging in between the piles. So that's what we got. Have a good day out there. Thanks, Ben. Thank you, Austin. Everyone have a safe day.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.